Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. Man, I just noticed how clear this picture is. Wow. I don't even have the distortion at the bottom. Oh, spoke too soon. Right over here. But you guys saw the thumbnail, boy, to have favor. I wonder what that feel like. But I bet you a lot of us wonder what that feel like. We're going to talk about it. Let's turn to first. Welcome back. Welcome back. This part of the program when I talk about the water check. I'm at 10 ounces at 10 bottles. How do I say 10 ounces? 10 bottles as usual. I'm a big advocate of drinking water here at Boxing Fans Talk TV. We advocate the 100 ounces of water a day. And as usual, around this time, I'm always holding about 10 bottles of 8 ounces of water. Turn this music down a little. Turn it all the way out. Hold on 1 second, yeah. Hopefully you guys still can hear me. I don't want to compete with the music. I turned the mic up, so we at I'm saying we like it's y'all too. It's me. 10 bottles, and Lord have mercy, I want to be at 12 or more when I come on here every day, but it don't matter. Even if I get to about 8 bottles by noon, some kind of way, I can't drink no more. And by the time I come on the show, I'm at 10 bottles. As I say, water is important. It helps clear out your skin. It flushes you out. It gets rid of toxins. Keeps you regular. So you should drink upon waking up 8 ounces of water first thing in the morning. Get your engine started. Think of it as your engine's lube. And before you go to sleep at night, not laying in the bed looking at TV, but you're about to close your eyes, go on and throw one back. 8 ounces of water, because your body does a lot of work in the middle of the night. It's the time of day where you burn the most calories. It's sleeping. It rejuvenates, reboot, recharge, everything. You're building, reproducing more cells. Drink your water. And if you don't drink no water during the day, those 2 times during the day, please intake some water. But anywho, we're going to move on. Bold and understanding is in the building. What's popping, King? Said, salute, Queen T. Salute to you, King. So y'all saw the thumbnail. Boy, to have favor. To have favor. And we talking about Lomachenko. Now, some of it is his fault. It's a small bit. Because I feel like sometimes when people have special favors and they know it's not really deserving, they play into it. Now, it depends on what's going on in your life. You know, if we have favor, whereas we in school and the teacher gives us more of a break or grade us better on the curve, a lot of people will be like, well, I'm going to take that favor. You know, anything. Like, you be like, well, it ain't my fault. I'm going to take it. It is your fault if you play into it. Because over time, you're going to be a violator. That's why you have to be careful and thread that needle carefully when you know you're a person who catches favor. You have to be careful, and you have to make sure every time you're not the violator of the favor or have a favor because you expect it, you demand it. You don't know no other way. And see, when you get to a point where you expect it or you demand it or you don't know no other way, that's when you become a violator. Now, I know some of you guys are saying, I understand expecting and demanding. That's kind of crossing the line, a bridge too far. But why is when you don't know no other way, why is that a bridge too far? Macadocious Mac of the South is in the building. Salute the lovely and beautiful Madam Queen Miss T. Salute to you too, King. Well, you guys remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Like, share, and subscribe. When you step into the squared circle, hit the Leezy when you come into the Yeezy. There's so many ways I can say that. So when you don't know no other way, and I'm gonna tell you why I feel that way, that it's a violation, is because when you don't know no other way, you carry yourself like you don't know no other way. You will be violating all day, and you don't even know you're violating. Now, true enough, it's like an inadvertent act, but it's definitely an act nonetheless. You don't know no other way. So you do and say things that continue the favor going. You know, I'm trying to think of a great example. I really can't. I mean, you can just think of anything. Like when somebody shows you favor, let's say you even if somebody's going to the store, let's say your parents. I hate to say it, but parents always say, I love you all the same. But all parents this is what a lot of people tell me. All parents will tell you individually, if you're not the one catching favor, they will be like, I don't have no favorites. I love all of y'all the same. But if you the kid that's getting a favor, you might even get told, I like you better. I've had friends of mine that tell me which kids they like better. And I be like, you know. But if you have multiple kids or you will come from a family where you one of many, you know that some of the kids catch favor. So when mom goes to the store, dad goes to the store, you'll say, can I get a soda? You know, I know in my family with my dad, love is girls. I can say, Dad, can you do this? Can you do that? And he'd be like, okay. I'm imitating him. He has a very deep voice. He'll be like, okay. Daddy gonna see what he'll do. I don't care how old I am. This is this man's response. But he loves his son, his one and only son. But if his son saying, "Hey, Dad," the same thing, he be like, "What you doing? Why you can't go do that?" Now, what I mean by I don't know no different. That's how my daddy treat his girls. I don't know no different. But I am a violator of catching favor because I clearly see what he would do for me or how he, his approach to anything I ask is a little different than with his son. But it has nothing. It has nothing to do. It might not have nothing to do with just a favor thing. It might be for him simply, those are my girls and you're my boy, and I expect my boy to be a man and do whatever. It might be under that auspicious nature, but in the end of the day, it's still catching favor. And I'm violating it because I know that I can ask and my brother can't. It's not that my daddy loved my brother any that. That's his son. You hear me? That's his boy. That's his ace boom coon. Matter of fact, them things look like twins. They look like twins. He loves us all the same. My daddy would tell you all the time. Now that he recognized that he probably was like that, because if you talk to my father, he'll say, "I love you all the same." Like if he talking to me about something and it's something specific to me, and he said, "I'm proud of you. I love you." He'll then back that up with saying, "I'm proud of all of y'all." And he would name each one of us individually. All of y'all make me proud. He makes sure he tells me that. Now, I'm assuming that he tells my sister that and my brother, but he does that every time with me to let me know, look, all of y'all getting the same treatment from me. But what he expects from me as a woman, a grown woman, is different than what he expects from his son. But I had to stop myself from asking certain things, and I did that years ago. Daddy, because I knew my daddy would say yes. He's not gonna say yes to all of us because he feels just strongly about what a man should be doing and what a woman should be doing. But to me, that's favor. It's no other way to describe it. So now that I gave that example, you kind of know what I'm talking about. So if you expect it, demand it, or even if you don't even know, and you still, you could be a violator of favor. And to me, Lomachenko is a violator of favor. He knows he catches favor. He knows he does. That's why he could ask for the franchise belt in the first place. Because the favor he catch, almost guaranteed he was going to get it. Think about it. Just put yourself in them shoes. Put yourself in some of his potential opponent's shoes. Where in Devin Haney's head would he think that he could ask for a franchise belt? Or Tank? Or anybody else of color? Robert Easton was a champion at 135. What would Robert Easton ever think that he could ask for that? Mikey Garcia, other lightweight champions. But Lomo could ask for that. It was created for Canelo, but why would Lomo think that he could ask for that and get it? He must have knew. And he carries himself like a person who catches favor. And most, like probably 80% of it is not his fault. It's how the world treats him when you come in the shell like him. You come in the shell that he has. That's how the world treats you. But if he came in my shell, he would have known better to ask something like that. You wouldn't have even thought to ask it. Well, I bring all that up to say, it's being reported that Loma is emerging as the front runner for the Kambosos fight. This is what the articles say out there in these boxing streets, that he is emerging to be the front runner, the go-to person for the fight. Why? Because the powers that be wants that. Simple as that. That's the face of boxing that they want to see. They don't want to see Devin Haney as the face of the lightweight division. They don't want to see it. People can have their preference, but you talking about a competition that's open to everyone, so you should not be able to have your way if you're in a position of power, especially if you're not getting into the square circle. But you can have your preference, but you have to, you know how they say, let the free market be? Let it be a free market in boxing. Let the chips fall where they may, based on the guys who step into the square circle. Performance dictates, not the way Mauricio vision it should be, or Bob vision it should be. Everybody but the fighter vision it should be. And some of these fighters play into it. Loma hasn't been right since T.O. took them belts up off him. Lomo probably was walking around. I don't know if so. You guys will have to tell me. But I don't know if he was actually walking around claiming he was undisputed. He was definitely walking around acting like he was, because he didn't feel the need to fight anybody he didn't want to fight. And being undisputed don't mean you get to walk around and not fight anybody. Just because you become undisputed, that's a milestone. It's to be commended, but you still have a job to do if you're still an active fighter and if you still carry those belts. You don't reach that pinnacle and say, oh, I'm going to just sit here at the top, and when I feel like fiddle-daddling with these folks, I'm going to jump in and jump out. That's not how it works. It's back to business as usual. Now, what people have done lately is once they reach that pinnacle, they get those belts up and either move up or, retire or whatever. And it's your right and privilege to do so. Gaining all those belts put you in a better position to cut the line in the next weight division without no reprisal or backlash from your audience or boxing fans. That's what it does. And that's all it does. So this lightweight division got it twisted. It was a real hot division. But for me, it's turning out to be a dud. So I want to hear what you guys think about that, though. If he is able to, and I'm talking Lomachenko, able to cut the line and get this fight with Kambosos, are you guys supporting it? Remember, I can tell you why I won't support things, or if I'm not going to support things and why. But I will never tell you have to do what I do. I just can only share the info of what I'm doing. Another reason that he's emerging to be the front runner is because they're claiming that they want the biggest pay for the fight. But if that's the case, Lomachenko is not your guy. You cannot gauge whether or not that he would have been or is the biggest fight that Kambosos can have. Why? Because he's never had a pay-per-view. So you can't gauge that. You can gauge it with Devin. You can arguably say that Devin Haney will bring you the biggest payday. You can. And for the record, it's not like I'm sitting here capping for Devin. I'm just a fan of boxing. And I like Devin. I'm not even a big fan of Devin. But I like fairness. I like things that make sense. I like boxers to go for the Super Bowl before they start entertaining anything else. That's what I like. Yogi is in the building. What's poppin', Queen? Hello, Miss T. Swinging by the show to show my support, my sister. I feel you, Queen. Thank you. You guys, I see you popping in and popping out. Hit the leezy when you come into the heezy. But hell, bring your ass and get this abuse. You know what? When people be abusive, people be coming back for more. Y'all want me to abuse y'all? I'll abuse you if you want. But stop reckless eyeballing. Come on in. Hit the like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. But definitely lean in on that lazy. Hit the like. Stop just watching from afar. It works better when you hit the like. For those of you watching in Facebook, come into your YouTube to Boxing Fans Talk TV and hit the lazy button. And then go back to sitting in the background if you want to. So again, Lomachenko and his team claiming they're going to be the biggest money fight. Why? Based on what? Based on how many people came to your fight? That's not a gauge. The gauge is how many people pay to see your fight. We talking pay-per-view. That's what we talking. How you gonna get some numbers out of Loma? Unless you're saying the Australian audience will rather than, rather see someone in his shell than someone in Devin Haney's shell. I have to ask that question. It ain't, yes, I know some people might listen and say, it's not always about race. Most of the time in this country it is. Because this don't make no sense. Here you are at the crust of the Super Bowl. And I know I keep calling boxing Super Bowl. We got to find a better name other than Undisputed. But you at the crust of the Super Bowl game. But you don't want to play it. You want to do everything but it. You want to play for the AFC Championship again. You don't want to play the World Series. You don't want to make it to the NBA Finals. You want to do all the stuff that was preliminary before it. Now, how does that make sense to any sport advocate or person that's into any sports? You watch the sports every year to see who make it to the Super Bowl, to the NBA Finals, to the World Series. I don't know what hockey calls there, but you watch it. And you know what? Every year could be different teams. Every year, the same schedule. You play the teams throughout the year, and then somebody gets the crown. And then next year, somebody else can get the crown. In fact, every competition takes it all the way up to the finals. Except, it seems, boxing. If you fight Lomachenko, only thing that's going to happen is he's going to get those belts up off you. Now, it is plausible that George Kambosos is hedging his bets once again, because we already see that he's good at that game. He's good at that high school game. I talked about it yesterday. He did get George did get Bill and Devin Haney. He got over on them on selling the dream type high school game. He did. He fooled them. Probably because they've been out of high school so long, they didn't see that one coming. And that's not a disparaging remark against Bill Haney and them. That's pretty much what I see. I see that George was hedging his bets. That's why he talked to the Haneys before he fought Tio. He was talking like a boxer's supposed to talk. I'm going to win. I'm going to wax his ass. Tio was saying the same thing. So there's nothing to see there. There's nothing to stick out to make you say, just on that. But now when you look at how he's acting today, And you look back in hindsight, dude was hedging his bets. Of course he went to talk to Devin and them. Because even he probably thought there's a strong possibility I'm not going to win this fight. And if I don't win this fight, I'm going to disappear in thin air. Nobody in boxing is going to be checking for me. Nobody's going to want nothing from me. But if I put on a good showing, because we see that T.O. ain't trying to make a fight with Devin. But I know if I ask Devin to fight, I'll get a fight. And I'll get a decent paycheck. And I'll still stay relevant. That's what he was doing. Because he was working all this shit out behind the cameras before his fight with T.O. But to our surprise, and was that dude on, was it on Eddie Griffin? Not Eddie Griffin, the Andy Griffin. Surprise. To our surprise, George won. So now he asked for the franchise belt. So now he has a choice of who he want to fight. And that's why he can sit back and do what he's doing right now. Because he got that French fry belt. So he's taking advantage of that. Because again, I want y'all to close your eyes and think of it like this. Let me have my phone with me. My bag. Think about it like this. The date of December 3rd, I think that was the date that T.O. and Kambosos fought. If it was December 3rd, 2021, and close your eyes and say January, February, March, or you can say 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. And now you have a fight in March. And everything you just gained and won in December is gone. Nobody will be checking for you. If you can't defend that belt and win, he is cementing in history that he was a one-hit wonder, a blip on the screen, an accidental tourist. That's what he's cementing. Bo is in the house. What's up, Bo?
Hey, what's going on, Miss T? Definitely came here to show you some love and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. You know, I got off the show. I ran a little late. I mosey on over to B-Mac show. And he didn't have a show last night?
Oh, okay. I don't even know. I pretty much, I fell asleep early last night. I had a lot going on.
Yeah. So I know you hear me cooking so far, but what you think? Because all the articles got Lomo in the front. He's probably gonna get that deal.
Well, apparently, it's not set in stone, so it's not a guarantee. They just said Vasily Lomachenko is the front runner. I think they really waiting on the Devin Haney camp because, according to Lou DiBella, he said he offered the contract to Eddie Hearn in the zone and pretty much got a counter offer, which was less than what Lou DiBella offered. So I think he's pretty much offended by that. So he's going off in the article saying, you know, like he don't want to play these type of games and stuff, and he believes this is kind of nonsense. So I think them putting Vasily Lomachenko as a front runner is probably putting a pressure on Devin Haney in the zone.
Yeah, I was looking at it like it's plausible that it's used as leverage to make them up the money. Because, you know, with these These fighters these days, you just never know. But Lou DiBella also said, we're done with the Haneys, we moving on. I mean, that was his statement. You know, I might be paraphrasing a bit, but he basically said that. But I'm done with you guys. I'm moving on. You know, we ain't even gonna have no dealings with them. So, but Bill Haney and them are still optimistic about, you know, still gonna keep trying, but we never know. I don't know if you see it like I see it. Lomachenko to me is a more dangerous fight for Kambosos, number one. Like I can say Lomachenko and Kambosos, and I can guarantee that Lomo beats his ass. Guarantee. So if he's worried, and I know he is, talking about George, about the fact that he just gained them belts in December, and his first time out, he's gonna lose them. If that's his worry, he should never even be looking in Lomachenko's way. What do you think about that?
So apparently, I guess there's a rematch clause set in this contract. Whoever takes the fight, basically saying that not only if Kambosos loses and a rematch takes place, the rematch is going to take place right back in Australia. So if he does get in with Loma, I agree with you. I think Loma will whip his ass. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I believe Lomachenko is the best lightweight as of right now. You know, this guy. You know, I understand he has 2 losses, but the man he's still a dangerous fighter. And I know sometimes the media like to overhype him up and stuff like that, but the man is really good. My only thing with Devin Haney, I'm not sure what's wrong with his team. Like, why is he not getting certain fights? I mean, I know people be ducking in the game. I can't necessarily say people are ducking Devin Haney besides Ryan Garcia. I think Ryan Garcia, to me, is the only person that ever ducked Devin Haney. But I just would like to see Devin Haney get somewhat of a shot, and I hope they kind of do the business side of things to get him in the ring with Kambosos. Because that to me will be a more competitive fight.
You know what I think why people be ducking him? And this may be true or not, but this is just me speculating. I think Bill, it was right for him to take his son around and give him different looks. You know, when you, I don't know if you ever seen the videos about, you know, Devin's like kind of upbringing in the sport, and he took him around all these different places, different states. I mean, they went all around. Most people, I got friends who got sons who box. They can only go like in the tri-state area. As much traveling as they can do, because one, they got more children to tend to. Two, they got a job, and you can only do so much. But you know, Bill and Devin was able to travel the country and get different looks and fight all these different people. And I think the word got out on young Devin, like this might not be what you want. And everybody who starts boxing, you know, have this notion in their head that they can't take an L, that they at least need to get 20 fights in before they start taking the L. Where that come from, I don't know, because they want to be pretty boy, but they don't want to be pretty boy. You know what I'm saying? Pretty boy was put under the gun and could have possibly took an L, but for not his talent, skills, hard work, and dedication, you know, that could have happened to him. But a lot of these fighters go out their way to avoid those risks, you know, and Devin is a risk. Now, again, I see the holes in Devin. I see, just as a fan, I can see where he can get beat. He has a couple of things on his side. He has youth, and he's just determined. He got heart and he got youth. Some of that stuff you really can't buy. You can't even buy the youth. You know, but right now he's young and he's hungry and he's determined and he got heart. So he goes and goes. He's like the Energizer Bunny, and he can fight. He has skills. So when you get in there, you either gotta hurt him bad or you gotta outdo him. So I mean, and there's a lot of holes, like the Russells explained. You know, he's wide with his shots. He still is. You do what you practice. If that's how you practice and that's what you used to, you'll do it in the ring. And he does. And I be saying to myself, somebody like a Lomachenko will cut through all that shit. I agree with you that right now Lomachenko is probably the best 135 pounder in the division. I didn't always think that because I felt like they put the cart before the horse with him. They was building him up like the second coming when he had 7 or 8 fights, and I wasn't going to agree with that. But now, he's a little bit more seasoned, and just his footwork and leg work, I think he'll beat all of them. For real. But going back to George Kambosos, I think the jig is up with Devin. Don't nobody want to fight him. They just not, and they have successfully stalled him out, because to fight him, it would have been possible that this man at such a tender young age would have been an undisputed champion, which was never done before. And they can't let him have that. I don't know. What you think? Am I far off? Am I stretching it?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if he fight Kambosos, it's a damn good chance he could become undisputed. But as far as fighting, some of the other guys, like I never really thought personally that Devin can really beat T.O. You know what I'm saying? I just think T.O. power will kind of might bail Devin out. I think Devin might be too big for the 135 because I know people say he ain't got no punching power. I think he has punching power, but I think he's just draining himself to 135, whereas though that power doesn't show. I believe like if he moves up to 140, he will fill out more. And with the skill set that he does have, he could generate more power. I mean, that's just my personal opinion, But I think, with Devin, I feel bad for him because, it's almost like the point like how I feel bad about Demetrius Andrade not getting these fights and whatnot. It just, with Devin, it's like, man, somebody got to get in the ring with him. Now, I do know Javier Fortuna wanted to fight Devin, but that fight never happened. And I think that's the only person that really want to fight Devin. But I think Lomachenko, if Vasily Lomachenko was to get the belts back, and then had a rematch, whatever, and Devin is still there, I think Lomachenko will fight Devin. But then again, we got to deal with the politics of boxing because sometimes, some of these promoters, they don't even be wanting to put fighters, their fighters in with other certain fighters and stuff like that, and that's what pisses me off about boxing.
Most definitely. Everything you say is good info, good speculation too. This is all plausible. I hear what you're saying and I could rock with it. Lomachenko did drop his belt and asked for a franchise belt, and you know what that belt does. Before he faced Devin, when Devin was hollering for him, at that time, Loma used to shit on Tank in broad daylight. You remember that? And Tank wouldn't say nothing back.
Oh, yeah.
But Devin was like, yo, I'm here. For me, again, and Devin is not my favorite fighter at all. But I'm a boxing fan, and I like fairness. Mm-hmm. That's what I like. I like fairness. And so, to me, it's his turn. What's the stall tactics? Like, stop with the stall tactics. But as I said yesterday, it's like Devin has to become what Ricky Hatton was to the boxing world. Outside of Casasu, Ricky Hatton, who did he fight? None of us can sit here and just rattle them off. And you can watch all his fights in the hour. Except, maybe not the Floyd fight, because that was how many rounds did it take the Floyd stop? But all his other fights, 1 round, 2 round, they have done a compilation. Matter of fact, they put it on Showtime, I believe, one time. All his fights. And you can sit there, boom, go right through them. because that's what he was doing to people. If you did not belong in front of him, he got you up out of there. Now, based on the logic of a lot of people that commentate on boxing, pundits alike, they'll say, "Oh, they would call those guys tomato cans." I hate to individually call somebody a tomato can, but I can say, what you gonna do? Pick tomato cans? And I'm not really talking about a specific person. But when I see that you fought somebody, I don't want to call that boxer a tomato can or a nobody, but I'd be like, no name. And that's what Hatton did. He fought a lot of no names and got his claim to fame. Because how else did he even land an opportunity to fight Floyd? Floyd had already said, I ain't chasing no bums, I'm chasing champions. He had already said that years before. So how did Ricky Hatton get in his atmosphere? Because what he was doing to all these no-name fighters, they got in front of him. He was getting them out in dramatic fashion, and he elevated his name. And I was thinking that's what Devin got to become. Now, Devin might look at them as they are less caliber than he is, but you got to go down that route.
Yeah, you're right. He got to get him out of there. Like he got to dominate. Like even if he don't knock him out like that, he got to dominate these people so much to the point that people want to, see him get in there with bigger names and stuff. But the one thing I realized when it comes to boxing, it's not fair. I remember listening. I was just rewatching the fight between Floyd Mayweather and DeMarcus Corley, and near the end, actually at the end of the fight, I remember Larry Merchant saying something which was really true. He said, if you want to become the number one boxer, then you probably need to go play golf or some type of stuff that got tournaments. The thing when it comes to professional boxing, you just got to put butts in seats. Because even he admitted, he's like, shoot, the number one guy, if you can't put butts in seats, nobody really cares. And I think Devin Haney got to put some butts in seats. Like he got to dominate people so he could have some people supporting him. Now I know Devin Haney, he got some people on social media that push for him, but he need to get those people in the seats to want to see him. I don't care if he even got to go out there and do interviews with whoever, even people that he don't like. Just get out there and do interviews just to get some eyeballs on you. You know what I'm saying?
Going on shows like Steve Harvey and do stuff with Dolly Parton. I know this sounds crazy, but you know what I'm saying? Like you basically like bring in the casuals. Now they would laugh and talk about Keith Thurman all the time, but Keith has a following. Keith will always have a following.
Oh yeah,
always. And it's simple. It's simple arithmetic if you look at it. Keith know how to entice casuals. Now Keith be looking rough when he's on his off time at home, but when you're in the gym, you ain't supposed to look all that. You know what I'm saying? But Keith, the day of the fight, Keith always looked sharp, didn't he? For the most part, when he did come out amongst the people, like when he had St. Pete in the gym doing his thing, Keith could be a little scruffy with the beard, or his hair be all long and everything. But when Keith stepped out of St. Pete, trimmed up, he got that mouthpiece, he make people who's not that much into boxing be like, I want to see him. And these fighters shouldn't care if a guy is saying, I want to see him, because his money green too. Or Keith can make people say, I hate that nigga. Their money green too. Especially when you bring the ladies out, our money green too. So Keith is good at that. I don't think Devin is. I don't think he's good at it at all. I don't
Nah,
think he's terrible. I don't think he's the worst, but I don't think he's good at it.
yeah, he's not good at it. I mean, he gotta also build up a street team because you gotta remember, even when Floyd Mayweather before he became Money May, he ain't had the best of the personality either. Even though he was calling out a lot of people, but he built up a street team. You know what I'm saying? Like cats that was back for him, they was sitting out there selling his merchandise before he was the money man. You know what I'm saying? It was, you know, he had he was doing a no fear or something that he was putting out there, or Filthy Rich. That's what he was doing, the Filthy Rich joint. Then he hooked up with, you know what I'm saying, 50 Cent and everything. Like he got around celebrities. You know what I'm saying? He doing his thing.
Not knocking Floyd, but honest to God, can you name an artist off of Filthy Rich records?
Nah,
I really can't.
Me either.
But yet and still, he had a dude who's that. Now I can think of what the guy looked like that always used to be around him. The one who was probably his only artist, but it was like his best bud or something. And Floyd jackets, if you go back and look at them early fights when he came in on his clothing, because Floyd never catered to sponsors. If anything was on his clothes, it was his own shit, which was a novel idea and it worked for him. It's only at the tail end of his career that he gets sponsors. But when you had a sponsor, like when he had Burger King dude walk out with him, I think they paid him $4 million. Hell, I'll do that too. That's chump change to Floyd. You know what I'm saying? But when he was young, when he was Pretty Boy, he would put Filthy Rich all over his clothes. He'd be like, who the fuck sang for Filthy Rich? Can't think of one song. I don't know what they did. But that was Floyd spending his money. You know what? Not only am I a fighter, I got a record company or a record label. I'm that dude. That was Floyd. And his ego and bravado. Floyd went to the club all the time. This is a person who don't drink and smoke, but he placed himself amongst people who do what?
People, exactly.
But then he did something else that was novel. As soon as the club is over, now, I don't know about y'all, but I used to be an avid clubber for 10 straight years, like all my 20s. I stayed in the club. If there was a club open on Sunday, I was there. If it was open on Wednesday night, I was there. Trust and believe me. I miss no weekends unless I had to work. But when I left the club, I was tired as a bitch. Go running where?
Yeah.
Floyd did that all the time. And that's what I mean by a lot of people don't want to be, they want his privilege and accolades, but they don't want to be Pretty Boy. And you got a point, like, you got to put yourself out there in them streets. You got to get them street creds. And he's just not doing it. And I don't know, I don't even really want to talk about this, but I don't know if he was supposed to get some creds, because then he get with that chick named Corinne Stephens, talking about Devin.
Oh, Devin did?
Didn't I thought I read somewhere where I guess he had an experience or two with it. I don't know. Y'all, I apologize right now if I'm wrong, but I could have sworn I read something about that, but that's not gonna hold my attention. But I noticed a lot of guys like to be like, yeah, I was with it. Like, it's some kind of street creds. It's not.
Not especially not for Devin. I mean, she's not really relevant anymore, is she?
No, but I guess if she always could do what she do, somebody want that on their belt. I don't know how old she is, but somebody will take a run at her. Not putting her down either. She did her life. She did her best life. She did what she wanted to do.
She got her money. She definitely got her money. I mean, it wasn't, I guess it wasn't really like in a, appealing way, I guess, you know what I'm saying? It just, she got popular for the wrong reasons, but it did work out for at the end of the day.
I mean, yeah, in the beginning of her life, that probably was the only opportunity or life she had. Sometimes you can get caught up in that because I know she was married to Coogee Rap or whatever, but sometimes you can get caught up in that life and it's hard to get out of. You don't even be thinking about it like from an angle or some on an agenda. You just living your life and then you get the short end of the stick. But she took lemon and made lemonades. That's how I see her. And so, but whether he did or not, or maybe it's somebody in her likeness or somebody like with that kind of reputation that, because Devin is living his best life. But I will tell you a great strategy that Devin, I don't know, you tell me if I'm right. To all the boxers, let this be known. You're going to gain more prosperity when you can attract casuals. Okay. When you sitting up here talking only to other men and trying to impress only other men, then you are stifling yourself. You should be trying to impress or bring in the women, because if you bring in the women, you're automatically going to bring in the men. If you think about clubs, what do? Women free by 11. Now, why would you do that? If you really trying to make money, because if the I was going to say something else. If the ladies come, the men are going to come. Am I lying, Bo?
Exactly. Yeah, you got to get the ladies.
And if you can get a considerable amount of ladies to want to come see what you're doing, you're going to get the men. You're going to get double that in men. Because the men going to be like, why these girls like this little nigga? Like, what are you doing over there? Well, but you keep advertising and catering to the same men. And it's going to disappoint you every time. You sitting over there beating your chest and shit. That shit ain't going to get you but so far. Try something different. Floyd's strategy was, I'll be the villain. I'll be your Huckleberry. Hate me, love me. All y'all money green. But that strategy has been done. And it's see-through. So now the next person come and do it, it's going to be see-through. There has to be some time in between that. So I would tell young Devin, cater to the women. Go on Ellen's show. Who else? What's that chick name they used to sing? No, she got a show. The one who won American Idol the first time. Kelly Clarkson. She know everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody. Go on these late night shows. Conan and all them. Do these nerdy
and
little shows.
Oh, my bad.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say get in with all the popular celebrities too, like all of them, even the, you know what I'm saying, like the hip hop thing. Get in with the most popular one, like a Drake or somebody, or somebody that's really popular that's gonna get your name out there.
Or the people, you might not like this person's music. There's some artists out there that's killing the game. I forgot her name. Sometimes like she don't look masculine, but like I just can't tell right off until she starts singing. I wish I remember her name, but the young folks will know what I'm talking about. Her hair be colored and everything. You might show up at her concert and just do cut a jig on the stage and be all into her music, even if you're pretending. And I mean, this girl be filling up arenas. I can't even think of her name, but I mean, is it Billie Eilish? I think it's Billie Eilish. But then when you listen to her sing, she's not bad. But at first glance, it wouldn't have been nothing I like. You know what I'm saying? It might not be nothing he like. But show up in one of their videos. Stop catering to the same people. We know you a dude. We know you got heart. Now get past that. because you're gonna keep getting dogged or stepped over, passed over, or catching the short end of the stick. You're gonna have to try something different. You're gonna have to start fighting the bum of the month club until you till they start putting some respect on your name. You know, like Pretty Boys fight every month, sometimes twice a month for 2.5 years straight. That's what he did. I don't see nobody doing that.
Sure, I remember he fought like 7 times in 1 year. I mean, it was early in his career, but you know, it was like 7 times in 1 year at one point. And I was
Devin
like,
should be able to do that, right?
Yeah. I mean, my thing with Devin, if he definitely can't get the fights, like you said, just fight anybody. You know what I'm saying? And make them dudes come out. Like if somebody possibly in the running for Kambosos, try to fight that dude. Cut it off. You know what I'm saying? But like, well, let me fight this dude. Just start picking them off right in the middle, to the point that they're gonna be like, yo, we had no choice but to pay attention to this dude. You know?
You already know that they be talking about that dude, like you said, cut him off, because you'll see the articles come out that's trying to check the temperature of the audience or the boxing fans. So, because I'm gonna tell you, that article that I read today that was talking about Lomachenko is emerging as the front runner, that article had one sole purpose, and that is to check the temperature of the boxing fans. And
exactly.
You know, I can tell you what my temperature say to whoever wrote that article. Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. That's my temperature. Because sometimes they float stuff out there, just see how you react to it. A lot of times people not paying much attention to that, but I did. I want to pay attention to that. And that's why I'm talking about Devin Haney twice in a row. Talked about him yesterday. Is it possible that George Kambosos can beat Devin? What you think about that, Bo?
To me, I think that fight, to be honest, could go either way. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know George Kambosos is not popular in America, but he got some decent skills. And the way Devin Haney been looking in his past couple of fights, I'm like you say, swing a little bit too wide. Not that George Kambosos got the power to stop Haney, but I think it could go either way. And I think, you know, if Devin was to win, he'd have to just dominate him. But I think if the fight is close, I think George Kambosos actually has a shot at beating Devin Haney.
I think he could too. But he has to know he better not have no conditioning problem or stamina problem. That's what he better not have. And as long as he don't have those problems, I think he can contend with young Devin. But he also know that it is very possible that he could lose to Devin. And again, y'all, Devin is not my favorite fighter. I'm not capping for Devin, and even though I'm talking about him 2 days in a row, because I'm just looking at the fairness of it all. It don't make sense. Like when I waited for a little bit to talk about how George played the Haneys, because he did. He played us all too. He played beautiful. I can't even, you know, because he hedged his bets. That was his game. He hedged his bets. There was no reason for you to talk to the Haneys before you fought Teofimo. And just like Teo thought he could wax your ass, so did the rest of the boxing fans think that Teo was going to win. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was. And I think Teo was hurt. Teo, on a good day, George Kambosos can't do nothing with him at all. And George had to know that too. So George had a plan A and a plan B. But because Devin and them has been at the top pretty much since they've been in, You know, if you think about it financially, they've been at the top. Business-wise, they've been at the top. Ain't nothing wrong with being on the top, especially if you're gonna work for it. But sometimes when you up there, you can miss some things. This is what I mean by inadvertent favor. You can have inadvertent favor and be a violator of catch a favor or expecting and demanding favor. And Devin, I think sometimes you can fall into that category too. I think Loma definitely falls into that category. And that's why Loma makes the moves that he makes. Because the boxing world has shown that he would catch favor. But in any case, you guys, if Loma gets a fight with George, I won't be watching. If George fight whomever, if their name is not Devin Haney, I'm not watching it. What about you, Bo?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. If you fight Lomachenko, I'm gonna watch that fight. Because I mean, I like watching Lomachenko fight. I ain't even gonna lie. The dude is exciting to watch fight. But you're right. I think Devin Haney should get the fight. To be honest with you, he should get the fight. But if Loma get it, I'm gonna be watching. It's gonna be on ESPN. So
yeah, you talking about like I'm talking about like when I say I ain't watching, I'm not buying it.
Now I don't think that's even gonna be pay-per-view because you got to remember Lomachenko never even did pay-per-view. He stays.
But again, you know that George's team is saying we want the one that's just gonna make the most money. Well, the one that's gonna make the most money, especially if you're doing it in Australia, is the one that's gonna be sold on pay-per-view. And you cannot be going in Lomachenko's direction if that's one of your goals. You're contradicting yourself at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But he could make money gate entry, because they're supposed to be fighting at what's the stadium? I forgot the name of the stadium. But that stadium holds like 53,000 people. Mm-hmm. So if we could fill that stadium up, you could get gate sales and get it like that. But and then ESPN being the big platform it is, more viewership. So that could generate more money on top of that.
True. But if he fought Devin, it would be not only what you just said, but the extra pay-per-view. But either way, I mean, I try to be happy for George Kambosos, but he's showing that he was not telling the truth all the way. And I know there's that thing called self-preservation, and we all have it. So it's like, I don't get too mad about this man is trying to maximize whatever he can maximize. He's trying to take his lemons and make some lemonades. He is being unfair if he takes somebody else. I would say the minute he signed a contract to fight someone else, Devin, at that point, everything y'all been doing, you need to scrap it and revamp your whole approach. Scrap it and revamp it. You're going to have to go after casuals. Everything Bo was saying that you need to do, you used to start doing. You need to go on these shows. You need to be a part of the popular culture. You need to attract women to your stuff, not in a sexual way, because I don't want to be misconstrued. You need to attract women to your show. Don't nobody look at Keith Thurman and say, "Ooh, I gotta have him," or "Ooh, I'm gonna have a chance to get with him." But he do attract a lot of women because they be like, and he confident and he makes himself look good, and it's like, well, what are you talking? Then if we act like that towards somebody, for every one girl that does that, you can almost bet your bottom dollar 5 men are gonna be like, what this bitch talking about? Now they interested, now they gonna pay their money. I'm telling you. I just see it that way. But good luck to them. I'm glad I didn't get hype about it. Did you get hype about the prospects of them two fighting?
Well, Devin Haney and
Kambosos.
Nah, not really. I mean, I just wanted to see the fight happen, just so we could get rid of if somebody is undisputed or not. So we could, leave it, no doubt to who is undisputed. So that will be good in itself. But even if him and Devin was to fight, they gotta build up a good ass undercard, because ain't nobody gonna look on surface and be like, yo, I want to see that fight.
Oh yes, great, excellent point. You are so right, because it just got to be, because neither one of them, I don't think that Devin is the draw that they say. Not taking away from him at all, but I don't think he's on that top tier draw. Like, when they can say that about Errol, whether we believe it or not, you can almost say Errol would draw a crowd, but I don't see Devin quite there yet. And I feel I know George ain't. So them two being the main event is, like you just said, the undercard got to be just as much of a draw as them two. Big time. But I got other stories I can talk about, but was there anything you want to talk about, Bo? Since you're my guest today, like what's popping, what's new on the horizon?
I don't know, like if you might have went to my page earlier, I put the video out based on the David Benavidez manager or promoter per se, talking about he want to get more money to fight Demetrius Andrade than he would with Canelo Alvarez. And I'm listening to this joint, and I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense whatsoever, especially when he said Demetrius Andrade can't sell, but he wants more money. And I'm just, in my mind, I'm like what kind of man, like what kind of promoter is this? I'm like, he gonna kill David Benavidez's career faster than he know it. And to me,
this is Andrade's promoter saying it's about him, or
this is David Benavidez's promoter saying this, because the rumor was Andrade was moving up to 168 to fight Zach Parker for the WBO Eliminator, to be Canelo's mandatory. But Eddie Hearn came out not too long ago and said, after Andrade fights Zach Parker, and let's say if he wins, and David Benavidez up and coming fight with David Lemieux, and he wins, he said he's looking to make the fight between Andrade and David Benavidez. And he was like, if David Benavidez wants it, we already said yes, we'll take that fight. Now, David Benavidez, to his credit, he did say he wanted to fight, but apparently his team wants a lot of money, more than they would get for Canelo. So I'm just like I don't understand that one.
He missed the boat. He trying to make up for lost time, because when DAZN first came out, excuse me, y'all, for coughing, I should have had some water here. But when DAZN first came out, and everybody who jumped on that ship in the beginning, they got paid, and David didn't. So, now when he coming over, everybody just like I said, they be concentrating on the wrong things, and because they concentrating on the wrong things, they making the wrong choices. You can't ask for a whole lot of money with Andrade, whether he brings him in or not, because a lot of his fights be done over there. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bo. Right?
Well, his last fight was in New Hampshire.
Right.
So he now he does get paid. As far as 160, I think him and Triple G is probably the highest paid.
Yeah. But what I'm saying with
guys
Andrade,
right now, and I know it was $7 million.
Yeah, Andrade's fights don't just be right there on Front Street. Because I've sat here, come in here many Mondays, and they be like, "Did you watch the Boo Boo fight? Boo Boo was fighting."
Yeah.
But he get paid handsomely.
Yeah.
Versus David Benavidez fight do be on Front Street, but his pay is not comparison to Boo Boo's. So that's what you're saying, right? Is that a
right?
fact?
Right. He unfortunately, he's David Benavidez is with the PBC, and you know how the politics rolls over there. Now, when it comes to Demetrius Andrade, like Demetrius Andrade, he's one of my favorite fighters. I ain't gonna lie, but again, he doesn't. To me, he's almost like in the same boat with Devin Haney, even more worse, because this guy been trying to get fights with the names at 154, at 160, and it seems like nobody wants to fight him. As a matter of fact, they come out with more excuses to not fight Demetrius Andrade than anything. Like you already hear, it's like Canelo will say, "Oh, he's a horrible fighter," but technically, to me, that translates to, "Oh, I don't want to fight Demetrius Andrade because this dude might make me look bad." And then you got like Jamal Charlo, who's repeating the same words as Canelo Alvarez, but he don't want to fight him. Triple G basically trying to ignore him, and Munguia, who was his mandatory, decided to go the other way. Like,
and Munguia came in the division because I remember he came in. I always thought it was the wrong weight class, but 147. I'm like, get this big ass motherfucker. He was huge. But now, you know, he probably in the right weight class, but he ain't all that because he up there with the fellas he need to be up there with. Boo Boo is awkward. Boo Boo can hit you from angles that you don't see coming, and he got power. Yeah. So, like you made a good observation by even saying, you know, similar, he's in that category with Devin Haney. And guess what? They both in the category of Gary Russell Jr.
and Terrence Crawford.
Yeah. Terrence fared a little better than them.
Yeah.
But, you know, and Terrence might be out because Terrence, whatever Terrence did, even if they want to ignore him for the rest of his career from this day forward, we know Terrence going into the Hall of Fame. We don't know that about Boo Boo. We don't know that about Devin. We, you know, Gary should, because you know he had that title longer than anybody else.
I don't even think right now. I don't even think Earl Spence can make a case for Hall of Fame right now.
Not yet.
Nah,
because he has to do something that's different than the fighters before him. And never been a time where you had a welterweight that wasn't unified. I mean, that's just a common thing. He got to do something to separate him from all the other welterweights that came before him. No offense against Errol Spence. You guys, I see the number jump up and down. Hit the Leezy when you come in the easy. Or bring your ass in here and hit the Leezy, period. Bo, what days do you come on? Because
I never done a live stream. I just put a video together and I just drop them like once in a while. Like for me, it's kind of tough because you know I'm a single parent, so I gotta tend to my daughter and whatnot. Make sure everything is good to go.
How old is your daughter?
Like 11.
Oh, is the ride about to get tricky now. I got my princess about to be 21, so hold on, buckle in. Yeah, I feel it's a lot of work, especially if you got a job or you working or something like that. It's a lot of work. But you guys stop what you're doing and go over there and subscribe to our brother, Bold and Understanding. You know, like people, like I don't know what the hesitation is about not subscribing. Like even if I can't see people's programs, like because I don't got so much time in the day and I got a lot of other stuff I got to do. I can't always see somebody's live, but I will subscribe. I will at least do that. And so I don't know what the hesitation is. You know, I'm giving away a 55-inch TV when I get up to 1,200 subscribers. I promise you I'll mail it to you. I tell you no lies. You know what I'm saying? But that's going within the 48 states. I'm not, you know, not no overseas and nothing. Because I'm paying for the shipping to him. All you got to do is ask somebody. I might say, what branch of military I was in. If you watch this show, you know I'm a sailor all day. You know I'm Navy. So That's if you watch the show. And there's no secret, but that's how simple the question is gonna be. But yeah, go over and subscribe to my boy Bold and Understanding. And I see the numbers jumping up again. Come in, hit the lazy. When you coming into the hazy. But yeah, the Benavidez story, it's funny that you brought that up because I was thinking of it too. I actually got notes on it. So, Bo, what is up with the changing of the rules for WBO? If you go up to the next weight class, you get to go straight to that champion. I haven't heard the great explanation of why this is not happening. Because if Andre goes up there, he should make a beeline straight to Canelo. Am I wrong?
He should, but apparently there's an interim WBO champion at 168 right now. And I guess they don't look at Demetrius Andre as the super WBO champion. But to me, the way I look at it is that they don't want to piss off Canelo Alvarez because they want to stay in business with him. Because, you know, if Demetrius Andre becomes the mandatory and they be like, yo, Canelo, you either going to have to defend or vacate, more than likely Canelo is going to vacate the belt and be like, all right, well, screw y'all. You know, I ain't going to fight this dude. And y'all not going to get no sanctioning fees from me either. And that's what they're afraid of.
That would be the natural order of things. He has every right to do that, Canelo does. But somebody got to tell me, when do the WBO not have an interim champion when other fighters from different weight classes move up and go straight to the champion? When Bud went to, what's his name? Wasn't there an interim WBO champion?
Nah, he went straight into the fight with the champion.
That's what I'm trying to say. Boo Boo doing the same thing. He leaves one division where he is the champion. He drops the belt. According to WBO rules, when you are WBO at one division and you move up to the next division, you get to go straight to that champion. Bud did it, went straight to Jeff Horn. Wasn't there an interim WBO when Jeff Horn was the champion? When is it not an interim?
Nah, because Jeff Horn had just beaten Manny Pacquiao to be I think Manny Pacquiao had the belt, and I think Jeff Horn had just beaten Manny Pacquiao and took the belt right off of him. So right after that,
Jeff Horn was the interim.
I'm not sure if he was the interim or not. I just know he fought Manny Pacquiao and he beat Manny Pacquiao. And right then and there, Terence Crawford, after he became the undisputed at 140, went up to fight Jeff Horn. But then you got to think too, it was a lot easier for Terence Crawford to go straight into the fight because, you know, you got to think he's promoted by Top Rank. Top Rank is a machine.
Yeah, that's their belt anyway.
They got a lot of influence when it comes to getting certain fighters into certain fights.
L Dub is in the building. He said, "What's good? What's good to you too, King? Love this man. This man has a wealth of knowledge, and I think he's gonna drop it on us." Andre's situation is different because Zach Parker has been WBO mandatory at 168 for 2 years. So, if somebody is the mandatory for some time or was sitting there being the interim before you went up, then you can't cut the line over them. They got to make their rules a lot more clear because I've never heard of this. I heard if you are the undisputed champ in one weight division and you drop all those belts and move up to the other division, you get head of the line privilege with all 4 of them. But WBO has that added thing, like you don't have to be undisputed in a weight division. Once you a champion in one weight division, you go up to the next weight division, you have a beeline to the champion. That's what I thought. I didn't see a rule that said, well, if we have somebody, what you just said, L Dub, and I believe you. I believe you more than I believe me because you be knowing. But I just
But
never heard
politics
that.
plays a role in everything. I mean, look at the WBC, for instance. The WBC, when it came to the heavyweight, how long was Dillian White the mandatory for the WBC? Even when Deontay Wilder had it. You know what I'm saying? They kept like putting everybody in front of Deontay. I mean, in front of Dillian White, when Dillian White was the mandatory the whole time. So, you know, I don't understand some of these rules. I just know if Zach Parker's situation, if he's the being a mandatory for 2 years, he should have been the mandatory for Caleb Plant belt. You know what I'm saying? And he should have fought Caleb Plant. But of course, when you got somebody like Canelo Alvarez who brings in that money, he's going to get frontline privileges.
Well, I hope somebody corner Canelo so he can get on shit on the pot to get off. DJ said, remember, DJ is in a building. What's happening, King? What's happening? He said, remember, Shakur Stevens just had to take 2 fights at 130 after he moved up from 126 as WBO champ.
Same with Alexander Usyk. Usyk was undisputed
at cruising, yeah.
And then he moved up. He had to take 2 fights before he got the mandatory with AJ.
Crazy. Maybe that tells me I need to go back and read the book then. Read the rules.
But I'm telling you, I think it's a lot more politics in there. I mean, the rules will definitely stick, but it's only going to apply to certain people. You know, if you're in business with Canelo Alvarez, you don't want to mess that money up. That's how they probably thinking. They like, shoot, we're going to try to stay in business with this guy. We'll just keep putting more obstacles in the way.
Exactly. And speaking of Dillian White, I had this at the end. Dillian White has until February 19, y'all. February 19. That's this Sunday coming up to sign that contract. But he already is showing that he wants more money. So we'll see. And they ain't gonna give it to him. They're not gonna give it to Taco Meat. And Bob already putting his ass down, saying disparaging remarks. Putting that pressure on and name dropping. Y'all know how Bob get down. A leopard can't change his spots. But Bob is in the hot seat right now with the pending suit that he got on him. But then here's the thing: Bob is not gonna be able to toe the line forever. He's older and he's gonna slip up. And the way he talking now in that article that I read, he's sounding like old Bob. Like, look here, boy. Taco Meat, you ain't getting no more money. I tells you, you ain't getting no more money. Bob gonna be Bob. But Benavidez is calling out Andre, and he's saying after he fight Lemieux, do you think he looking past Lemieux or he putting the cart before the horse? Bo?
I don't know. Well, he better not be looking past Lemieux. I mean, Lemieux could actually crack, But I think he'll beat Lemieux, but he better not just look past him. Because that will, man. Just imagine if Lemieux beat David Benavidez. You know how many people would be like, "Oh man, this the guy y'all said that could beat Canelo Alvarez." Like people will literally make videos about that.
I can see Canelo trying to give Lemieux a chance, and he will burn his ass. He will wax that ass. But I can see him fighting people like Lemieux. But they talking about Canelo gonna have a fight with somebody we don't know.
Well, apparently he's gonna fight. Well, I don't know if the contract is signed or whatever, but the rumor is he's supposed to try to fight with Dimitri Bivol. And to me, that's a dangerous fight. I think Dimitri Bivol is a beast, And then I guess it's a 2-fight deal, so it will be Dimitri Bivol then back to Triple G.
But he gonna run into a brick wall because I think a tough fight for him is Better BF too, and Better BF and Joe Smith are slated to face each other. I got that written down. I'll get into it more in a minute, but they're gonna be facing each other for unification. Smith already had said months ago I ain't letting this. You can't play in my reindeer game. Not the and Smith didn't say it in a way like he was scared of Canelo. He was like, you ain't gonna come over here with that bull crap. Seat's taken. The seat is taken. You ain't coming over here. You know, if you want to be 175, do what you gotta do. Show us you want to be. But you can't be just holding on to 168, then try to get 175, then try to go to get cruiser, and you got everybody locked up. You bottlenecking the fucking highway. And that's what I see. But Smith see it too. He being proactive way ahead of time. Like, I'm not even gonna give you an opportunity. So, you know, if I'm losing somebody, let me lose to a real 175 pounder or somebody who's truly want to be in this division. Because right now, Canelo is doing a money grab, but he's also doing an achievement grab. Like, he's going for the Super Bowl and going for the money at the same time. You gotta just respect that. And I don't like Canelo, y'all know that, but what he doing and how he fight in the ring, I don't have a problem with it. It's that extra shit he do. WJ Luckett is in the building. What's poppin', King? He says salute to the Queen D. Salute to you, King. Now, again, we'll move on. Conor Benn don't really want to be a champion. What you think? I don't think he do. Because at least I would say this about him. If I have to look at it like the glass is half full, he at least is not waiting around. He's very active. That's the nice thing I can say about that. But he preferred Van Heerden over Avanasian. He doesn't seem like he's trying to be a champ. What you said?
Talking about Avanasian?
Yeah, Avanasian.
Yeah. I don't think Conor Benn is even on that level yet, to be totally honest with you. He has a fan, right? You know, his father used to box, so you know that connection is there. And he got a strong fan base. But he's not on that level to me. Not yet.
They didn't seem to promote him or try to advocate for him like he is. And I've been saying that too, Bo. He ain't no Errol Spence. He have silver seats. But I guess to Eddie, that's his Errol Spence. And I'm like, no. And y'all got to keep it in mind. Y'all got to watch what he do and how he moving. Because you do what you practice, right? So if he moving like he moving right now, because he's always fighting these semi-retired, no names or has-beens. Hate to say it like that, but Chris Algieri was a has-been by the time he fought him. We thought Chris Algieri was totally done, and then I guess Chris said, shit, I'm gonna go get some more money. Adrian Broner said he's not fighting in the 147, but yet you keep calling him out. You're supposed to fight a fight and constantly elevate. He's want to stay at that same level, but he wants to be considered like he's a top dog, like he's on Errol's level, or he's on Terrence level. He's not even on Boost level to me. You know, he'd rather fight Van Heerden. And I'm like, okay. So y'all need to keep that in mind as boxing fans. Because if you ever look up and get a belt, y'all see how he gonna act. And he's too young in his career to act like this. He's another one that's just being misguided. Like, I don't know if these promoters and all that just see these young boys coming and be straight abusing them. And they be coming back for more. So, I agree with your assessment that he's not even on that level. And that's all I'm gonna say about them. I'm gonna move on to, we all complain. What's the one thing, Bo, if you can remember, that we complained about after Tio and Camboso fought last year? What was we hollering as fans? And I seen this from everybody. What do Tio need to do? What do you remember what it was?
Nah, I don't even remember.
Were you one of the guys that was hollering he needed to switch trainers?
Oh yeah, I did see people made a lot of videos about that, saying he need to get rid of his pops and switch trainers and stuff. But then he go. Well, I guess the word is that he went to Eddie Reynoso, right?
Right. He actually listened to the fans. T.O. has switched trainers. Now, we can feel how we feel about Eddie Reynoso. He do some tough training down there. They done kicked Ryan ass out the club, traded him in for T.O.
But people like, yo, is he gonna get some of those PDs joints with Eddie Reynoso?
He may, and if he do, he gonna be hell on wheels. He gonna be hell, and I'm not gonna like that. I'm not like I'm one of those like y'all know how I feel about cheating. I abhorred it, but I believe all things done in the dark will come to light. So I don't go chasing for the truth because I know it's gonna come out. If I look at you and be like, I don't know about you, it will prevent me from being really endeared to you. But I know if you are like that, it's gonna come out. It's gonna show its ugly head. And even if it can't be proven, it'll get to a point where I'll be like, nigga, you fired. So T.O., I wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't advise you sip their tea. Like, don't drink shit. Bring your own water to training, and don't eat shit or drink nothing in that gym. But they could ride to the curb and traded him in for T.O. Because they do work in there. Now, they will get it in. They are about training. And those guys are very much macho and have a lot of bravado and ego over there. So they will put in the work, but they just like the extra scissor in their tea or something. And when T.O. come back, he gonna come back with a vengeance. What you think?
Well, he did say he's going to keep his father in his corner, though. He did say that. I don't think his father is a bad trainer, personally. I think he might be a little bit, loony in the head as far as talking to the public. But as far as the trainer, I don't really think he's a bad trainer. And him T.O. going to Eddie Reynoso is not necessarily going to guarantee him success. We seen with Andy Ruiz, right? He's with Eddie Reynoso, and he gets in a fight with the other Mexican dude last year, and he got dropped like 2 times in that fight. So it's not going to necessarily translate, because the reason why Canelo's so successful, he's been working with Canelo since Canelo was a child.
True.
So we got to see how that's going to translate with T.O.
Yeah, it remains to be seen how it translates. But see, even if T.O., from my point of view, or my perspective, even if T.O. stayed with his dad, I still think he would have came back with a vengeance. I think T.O. got enough gumption in him to do something like that. Like I still say, that shit with George Kambosos was a fluke. I feel it was. It's no excuse. Please hear me, y'all. I'm not making excuses. Hit the leezy like in this heezy. But I think T.O., if he had been 100%, I really do think he'd have whipped Kambosos' ass from pillar to post. Because to be honest, I really don't think I edged T.O. in that whole fight. They both knocked each other down. T.O. hit him harder. And T.O. was more aggressive. Now, T.O. was running into a whole lot of shit. But it was something off about him, and again, he lost fair and square. So it is what it is. But I don't think the George could run that shit back with T.O. And he derailed T.O., but maybe T.O. needed some humble pie because he was on his high horse and saying stuff that he should have known better. Now, I give T.O. a little pass for even walking around masquerading as an undisputed fighter, because he was, to me, he's a little boy. So when I say little boy, I don't mean no harm and disrespect out here. He's a father congratulations to you, T.O. And you're a young man, but to me, you're a little boy. You gotta understand that. And you was younger, so I was giving you little boy pass. But George Kambosos, you're a full-grown man. So when you walking around acting like you undisputed, I can't give you a pass. There's a difference. But T.O. coming up to the 140 division, and I hope he's ready. That's all I can say. I hope he's seriously ready. And we talked about Beterbiev and Smith Jr. will unify sometime. That fight we can look forward to in June, and Bob claims that that fight will go down. Canelo might be stuck where he at, because I told you, like, Smith is not going to give him an opportunity, nor is Beterbiev. Bivol might give him an opportunity. Nobody wants to see Makabu, and so now all he got is his belts at 168. So you have to do something or retire. What is he gonna do? He can't just sit there in the cut forever. Well, let me take that back. He can't, because he's Canelo. It won't look right. It's just gonna make people who have a problem with him have more of a problem, because you'd be like, what are you doing, dog? The rules cannot always be bent for you. And I don't really think that Canelo wants to fight Beterbiev. And like I said, Smith ain't gonna give him that chance. We already talked about Dillian and everything, but is there anything else, Bo, that I missed today?
To be honest, I think Canelo has a better chance at getting a win over Beterbiev than he does Bivol. Because Beterbiev, he's a come for a fighter, right? I think, I'm not saying Canelo could beat Beterbiev. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying he has a better shot at beating Beterbiev than Bivol, because Bivol, he actually moves around. He got foot movement and everything, and the kid is fast. It just, I don't know what Canelo's going to do, to be honest. And truthfully, I really don't care, whatever he does and stuff. I just want to see the fights happen. I'm not a big Canelo fan. I'm not whatsoever. Like I said, my only problem with Canelo that I had is that he ain't want no smoke with Andre. For 2 weight classes, he ain't want no smoke with Andre. That was my only problem with him. I was like, damn, dude, like, first time it was he didn't like Andre's style. Then get to 160, all of a sudden he's a horrible fighter. That's the only smoke I really have with Canelo. Outside of that, I I would like to see him fight, some of the other fighters and stuff, but it's whatever.
See, and for me, I hate cheating, especially in this sport. If it was chess, I think I wouldn't. If it was a game of chess and somebody was cheating, I wouldn't get that excited. I'm like, oh, okay. Somebody cheating in school, even though I don't like that either. I don't like cheating in academics, because if you're a doctor, I don't need you to be a cheater. I need you to know your shit. But and then you could think like, well, maybe some other subjects in school you could be cheating, but then again, no, because like I have a history degree. You guys wouldn't want me to say, in the name of history, in the name of my degree, I'm a historian. And it did say some fugazi ass shit. Now, I'm not saying I can't ever be wrong, but I'm just saying you don't want people doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like cheating academically, but like a game of wits or something, but a combat sport, no. And so he did it, and he catches favor, and he knows it, and he exploits it to his advantage. And I just... He lost respect. Now, as far as him being a fighter, I could have been a Canelo fan. I do believe that he knows that he has favor, or people be doing extra stuff to help him, or he can't never just go mano to mano like he claimed. He act like he a silverback, like he beating his chest, but you always got to have some kind of leverage. So that makes me lose some kind of respect for him. I don't hate Canelo. So we clear, I don't hate him. I hated what's his name, Pacquiao, worse than I hated Canelo, and I didn't even hate Pacquiao that much. But he was going against my favorite fighter, TDE. So I'm like, wait, shut the fuck up, Pacquiao. Fucking Pat cars and all that stuff.
Yeah, like I like Manny Pacquiao. I just hated his damn fan. Not the regular fans, but the fanboys.
Yeah.
They used to get on my damn nerves. I used to sit up there and argue with them throughout social media. They was doing some racial memes and whatnot. Well, I was just like, what? Like, come on. And then you would think after Floyd beat him, it would have died down. Nah, it ramped up. I was just like, golly, man.
It kind of reminded me of Crawford and Spence. If one of them was some other color and one of them was black, I mean, it would be the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember when Floyd beat Pacquiao, he was like, my shoulder. Nigga, shut up. You was doing this shit in the beginning of the round. When the fight was over, you did it. Now I think I have a torn rotator cuff. I have something. When I went to my chiropractor, they said that I'm pinching a nerve. So I have to go to the chiropractor like every 3 weeks now because I don't know how it happened. My hips got twisted. And I wish, it could have got twisted for a good reason. But it didn't. I don't know how it did it. You get older and shit happens. But my hips got twisted, right? And just that twist, they had to pop it back. And because of the muscle and the tendons around it, he said it's going to want to go back to it. But my whole left side, you talk about pain, Bo. I know I be complaining about shit all the time, but talking about pain, but I feel like in my head that I tore my rotator cuff. Even though I can't tell you nothing I did to injure myself, I can lift my arm. Let me see if y'all can see it. I can lift this arm about that high before I start wincing. I can go all the way up with this one. This one I can only go with so high. And the chiropractor said you pinching a nerve. So that shit hurts. You think I could get in the fight? Everybody out there from the age of 8 and up can whip my ass right now.
She said 8 and up.
8 and up. For real. Because I can't move this arm to save my life. I could barely drive. You know how you be driving, you might, turn your corners, bust them corners with one hand. I can't do it. I'm like 10 and 2 for real. And then I'm like leaning into it. That's dangerous. But every 3 weeks, I got to go and pop myself back in line. He said, we're going to keep doing it until, thank God, the VA got a chiropractor, because otherwise, there's going to be some money just flying out the door. But, he said, we're going to keep popping it back until it want to just stay there, But that pinching of the nerve hurts. I can't even imagine when you actually have like a torn rotator cuff or something. And Pacquiao said that shit. I was like, man, shut the hell up. You lying.
You know the part that got me was afterwards when he said his shoulder was healed by God and salt water. Like that part, I was like, come on now.
Yes, I forgot about that. I know you was like, give me a break. You was lying. And when Floyd said, I don't want to do business with them no more, I felt them. But you right, that rivalry, oh my God. And I was kind of naive because I went to that fight. I had tickets to that fight in Vegas. And I was walking around. Now, I bought some Floyd memorabilia and I didn't wear it none that weekend. And I don't know why. It wasn't that I was scared. But it's kind of like, like when I have my politics views, a lot of people be like, well, I don't like you no more because you like that. But see, you can have a different politic view from me and I still like you. You can have a different celebrity you like than me or a sport person you like than me. And I still like you or love you. You know, like I was scared as hell to advertise Hillary up on my lawn, but I like Hillary. But they not scared to advertise Trump. You know, I didn't wear no Floyd gear, and I really can't, to be honest, tell you why I didn't. But the thought did cross my mind. I don't want to get beat the fuck down a little bit, because there was so many pack tires and them motherfuckers was serious. And Vegas is Floyd hometown, so to me, I probably would have felt more comfortable if Floyd went somewhere more neutral. Maybe that could have been Barclays, but he was in Vegas. So I said, I ain't wear my shirt. But if I'd have worn my shirt, I would have been on TV, because if you look at the epilogue thing, or one of those shows, they would, you know, there's guys walking around with these cameras. I mean, Vegas was packed. And the lady with all that color hair that looked kind of weird, and she had the $ chain, I was standing right next to her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I seen, and he was like, the camera guy said, if you got on Pacquiao t-shirts or something with Pac, or something regarding Mayweather, if she had the $ chain, they'll put you on camera. And I was like, shit, because I just want the socks, the hat, the shirt, the poster.
Yeah.
I spent $200-$300 in that damn store. Oh shit! I was on the crap table, $100 a night whenever the fight day was there, versus $25, which is on a normal day. Oh my God! I seen everybody but who I wanted to see, which was Floyd. I saw his daddy. I saw Nate. That's the first time I met Terrence. I ain't gonna never forget that trip. I was in boxing heaven. Everybody that's in boxing was there. You know, so
pack house over there.
Whew, it was, and you cannot say you was bored. And I was only there 2 days. I was there for the fight and I left, and I was shocked that I even got tickets. Whew, you know, but you know, that's how I feel about depending maybe Floyd and not Floyd, Spence and Crawford. I think you think they should have their fight maybe in the Barclays?
It's about Spence and Crawford.
Yeah, if they ever do fight.
It's going to have to be a Vegas fight, but to me, I don't even think that fight is going to happen. You know,
right? I don't think so neither. But if it do, it need to be somewhere neutral. Because I'm gonna tell you, you don't want to mess around up in New York. There's just certain places you don't want to get arrested in.
Yeah,
New York is one. They send everybody to the island. You don't want that. You don't want that. From what I hear, you don't even want to get arrested in Georgia down here. Just not gonna be ain't what you want. But you know, I don't know how Vegas jails might look like Hollywood compared to everywhere else. Who knows? I don't know. But that's what I would worry about, you know. I wouldn't wear no t-shirt. I wouldn't wear no Crawford t-shirt. I would act like I'm right in the middle. When I went to the Shakur fight in October last year, I'm right here in Atlanta, right? Now I like Shakur. I'm a little bit of a fan. He ain't my favorite, and he ain't my go-to, but I like Shakur. No ifs, ands, buts about it. But he was fighting the Marine. Of course I'm gonna go for the Marine. You know what I'm saying? And Jamel
Jermaine. Oh man, I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I was going for him because the way Shakur was, antagonizing this dude before the fight even happened. Kept grabbing on the man's belt. I was just like, man, come on, Shakur, like y'all supposed to be cool, man. And he just bullying that dude. And I was like, man, I hold Jamel here and whip his ass. But then when that fight took place, I said, God damn. I'm like, somebody call 911.
Yeah, please call 911. And I was it who sang that song? Wyclef?
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. Wyclef and Mary. But yeah, when the fight started, I was, like I'm looking at him like, Jamel, what are you doing? I've seen you, fight better. Where's the Marine in you? Like, where the dog at? Where that bulldog at? I ain't see it, but Shakur promptly apologized, and he actually was begging forgiveness to Jamel's wife, because they all are friends. You're right, they are close. And he was like, I really didn't mean to. And he was like, I know she hated me and all that. Like, he was like, I'm sorry. But basically, I was just trying to sell a fight. And he ain't said it in those words, but that's what he was alluding to. Because Jamel's wife was hot. She was mad as hell. She was hot, like I don't even think she
Jamel the belt back. She was looking at him like,
like nigga, I will slice you the hell up. One more again. Shakur's like, it was all for the seller fight, and Bob didn't promote him right. As Bob is not going to promote Dillian. That's the other nigga. Bob basically told Dillian, nigga, sign the papers and go promote your fight. Go do your own shit. So Bob ain't promoting that fight, and that's crazy. Like, he's a promoter, but he don't promote. But yeah, that was a good fight. And Jamel turns out, like I would tell you guys, I follow him on Instagram. He's a character. Who would have thought it? Dude is funny as hell. He do little skits. He's funny. I was like, wow, okay, that's refreshing. I like him. But I was going for the Marine. That's why y'all see him in my intro at the most opportune time. Like when the song playing, that's my boy. I'm gonna rep him all day, every day. Former Marine, and we both his shipmates. So that's how I saw it. And I was in a sea full of Shakur fans, and I couldn't holler Jamel or nothing. It's a shame that boxing has come to that. You can't even. Oh my God! When I was at the Wilder fight last year, I'm right in the sea of Europeans. I guess they was from England. I'm gonna say European, but that's what they sound like. They was just as nice as they could be. And when I saw that they were decent people, I was like, I felt comfortable that I could rep my boy, and we would laugh at each other. We was like, we getting in each other's face, like, and all that shit. But then they were nice. They were gentlemen. Ain't that strange?
Oh yeah, they definitely gonna come support their fans. But the thing, like Deontay Wilder, so the first and second fight, I was rooting for Deontay Wilder. It wasn't until after the whole conspiracy thing came out, and he just saw what a lot of his supporters on YouTube were doing, and he just ran with that story. And he was like, my trainer poisoned me with water. And he was coming out with excuse after excuse. I'm like, y'all can't rock with this dude no more, man. I just couldn't do it because, he kicked out, like, he's he preached the pro-black joint, but then he kicked out the brother in the group and said the man poisoned his water. I'm like, how'd you come up with that conclusion? But yet you said Tyson Fury had loaded gloves, and your guy JD's was in the locker room watching his hands get wrapped and everything. Why didn't you fire that dude? But you gonna fire, Mark Breland over some alleged poisoning of the water that made you weak? Like to me, I just didn't even understand that. And it was just like one excuse after the next. And I'm like, come on, man, just take your L and get into that third fight,
See, a lot of people, and I feel you, Bo. Like I always tell people, this Deontay country over here. So I was like, do you know this Deontay country? But I'm cool with everybody's opinion, and I respect it. That is one way to look at it, and I ain't gonna knock it. For me, I took a different perspective. I look at it like he the boss when it comes to hiring and firing. He did what he wanted to do. I don't even allow myself to get, to even be into that. unless it's something blatant, because then, then somebody can say, what about when Mark Breland claimed that he never gave Deontay water, and then you can roll the tape back and you see him giving Deontay water, and he swore by it when he did talk after the incident. He was like, I didn't even give him water, and you did. And so I just say, you know what? Don't even worry about that. For me, you know what the whole big hoopla was? The man knocked the man unconscious in the first fight. Fight over. So when you take it from me, when it's that blatant, I don't know how you get over shit like that. Because I know from where I'm sitting, I can't get over that. The second fight, the dent in the head, because I know medically there's no human can hit another human in the head and put a dent in it like that.
I'm trying to figure out how you get a dent in the first place. Like, I mean, I understand like a fractured skull, but a dent?
Yeah. He didn't have a dent coming out. He had a dent leaving that ring. So who was hitting him? Tyson Fury. What was he hitting him with? His so-called hands. Well, if can't no human hand make that kind of impression or a dent in your head, I can't say Tyson had something in his glove. I can say it looked funny. I can say his gloves falling all the way back, because I'm a boxing coach and I know that that's not possible when you're swinging. It just doesn't.
But that was in the first fight.
It was in the second fight too.
Nah, that was the first fight, because remember when the video leaked out, they was showing video clips of the first fight with his gloves doing, floppy like that. So when I start hearing other professional boxers like Ishe Smith, Chris Colbert, and all of them was like, yo, your gloves could do that. And it said it depends on the type of gloves. It said if you get MX gloves, right? Certain brand of MX gloves, if you just flicker your hand out there, they say it does that. So I was like, and then the way Ishe Smith explained it, he said, yo, if you was just to slide your hand down the glove and try to hit somebody with it, it ain't gonna do no damage. It said it do more damage with your hand fully in the glove to try to hit somebody.
But like I said, I've done shows on this one. It was in the second fight as well. The first fight we actually missed. We had to go back and catch it, but the second fight you could clearly see it. And what he did was he slid his hand down and balled his fist up near where the laces are. So he was really punching you with that. That's why that glove flew back like that. I mean, but the second fight, I give it to Tyson. He can have that. He can have that fight. Because Deontay never, he might have had a couple of good punches, and after that, he just wasn't with it. As far as Deontay saying he was poisoned, I don't know. But Tyson can have all of that. But that first fight, he was unconscious. So that should have been a win for Deontay. That third fight, now Tyson knocked him down first. And then in the fourth round, because I was right there. I had good seats too. Deontay knocked him down.
Oh, you went to the third fight?
Yeah, when I say I went to these fights, I was there. I was in there. I had great seats. As a matter of fact, I bought my seats from Tay Jones, who got his tickets from Deontay. You know what I'm saying? I had good seats. And when the second fight, Tyson knocked him down. And then in the fourth round, Deontay knocked him down twice. You remember that, right? But one time it took him 17 seconds to get up. Even the British people sitting by me said that was fucked up. But then all of us, the British and my party, it was a few of us, Wilder fans, we said, you can't do nothing about it. They don't want this man, they don't want to get this man to win. So now we gotta wait for the second time that Deontay might knock him down. But I think it took a lot out of the champ. I didn't agree with him pumping weights, doing training. But, they do what they got to do. They do what they think is best. I'm not the trainer, you know what I'm saying? I would have never put him on a weight training regimen. You don't break what's not broke. I mean, you don't fix what's not broken. He's a linky guy for a reason. And now, I've seen him in the interview. He still look thick. Once you put that kind of weight on, sometimes it's hard to get that shit off. He didn't need it. You know what I'm saying? He probably need to go on a vegan diet just to shred back down to what he normally is. But if it took Tyson 17 seconds to get up, you lost. You lost. But they didn't count it. And there's videos out there to show that. But like I said, I was sitting right there and I had perfect seats. And the British people was like, that's fucked up. And that's why I be feeling the way I feel about Tyson Fury and the way I feel about Deontay. And I can understand for men or just some people in general. I don't want to just tailor it to just men. You guys don't want to hear the excuses and all that, but it's like, it's heartbreaking. Like, how can you go on with your life when you know that you won and they still in broad daylight didn't give it to you? I don't know how people get over shit like that. So that's why I be like, I'm still with the champ or whatever. I let it go and I did accept it because in that moment when he lost, I cried. No bullshit, y'all. I cried. The tear rolled down. The British people was like, it's okay. It's okay. That was a good fight, though. By the time it took me to get out the stadium, walk downstairs and walk outside, I was good. I was okay. But in the moment, no, I cried. And I went, woo! It's just a couple of tears came down my eyes. I didn't feel like partying. I didn't feel like going to no after party. I went back to my room and I kind of laid down for a while, chopped it up with my friends. And then we went down there and because I was there for my birthday weekend. We would celebrate the weekend and hit them slot machines up and stuff. And I came home the next day. But it was an emotional little event for me. I didn't know I was gonna cry. Nobody could have paid me to say I was gonna cry. I just cried because I was like, you won. This is hard enough. Both of them fought gallantly, and both of them was bringing it all as best as they could. And you win, and they still won't give it to you. Like, that hurt me to my heart. So that's all I was saying. But I know people don't want to always talk about, the Wilder fight and all that, relitigate it. But that's why I will always still be a fan, because I have sympathy for the underdog or people who get done wrong or something. Maybe that's it. Or empathy, That's about it. But Bo, thank you for coming in. I do my Black History every day.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it, as always.
Yeah, y'all go over to Bold and Understanding and check out what he got to say over there. Kicking a lot of facts, kicking a lot of knowledge. And E. Thriller, the Black Picasso, and the Mac Mob. The mob is spelled like MOBB. Y'all go hit the subscribe. Mm-hmm.
Like how Mob Deep said, MOBB.
Yeah, MOBB. Every time I spell it, I be thinking when that committee said, or was the Witherspoon dude who said, "You better get a job, a JOBB." JOB. So, thank you for coming in and sharing the screen with me. Y'all remember, when you know better, you do better. But I'm about to roll into this Black History. You're welcome to stay, or I'll holler at you, player. Right. When we get off, I always try to mosey on over there. I don't know the times and all that stuff, but now that I know you just record your stuff, I'm subscribed to you for sure.
I appreciate that.
But I will go definitely and check you out and everything. I don't know if you're trying to meet your requirements, you're gonna have to kind of do a live, because the required hours, they don't count unless they live watching. You knew that, right?
Oh, I gotta figure out how to run a live, to be honest with you. Like, I don't have a webcam on my computer. Like, I got one on my phone, but normally I'll be on my laptop, a lot of times.
Normally I know a lot of people that run their whole show through their phone and all that, but if the little cameras you can buy to add to your laptops or your phone, or if you want to set up a camera, they like $39, $40 $40. They even cheaper than that, and they come with all kinds of technology, within the camera, because it come with a photo or a video editor part where you can go in and, like, my intro, I made it from the camera that I bought, which my camera is $40. So when y'all see me, coming through the screen, I'm using a $40 camera. Like, I forgot, I can't even see the name. I ain't even front. Try to act like these eyes can read that name, because I can't. I have to turn on all the lights. But yeah, it's just, maybe it's Logitech, I think. It's just a regular camera, and I just set it on top of my computer screen, and it comes with all kinds of fun tools and stuff you can play with. So when you get one of those, and then you go on StreamYard, you can probably go live. But if you need help, you can email me. At the bottom of the screen, you see it, Boxing Fans Talk TV. Not TV, I'm sorry. Boxing Fans Talk at gmail.com. That's Boxing Fans Talk at gmail.com. So, if you have any questions you can ask, or feel free, or I'm sure E3 and the Mac Mob will help too. Anybody who got any questions, I'm sharing. Oh, and this is a little nugget. I just found out today, never would have knew before today, that if you have like I have to replace my unit to my house, like the little air conditioning unit. It's broke. It's been broke for a minute, and I called my homeowner's insurance thinking I'm gonna give it a shot. Now I don't know if they do or don't. So I called them, and they was like, you know what? If this unit hasn't lived to the life expectancy that we think a unit should live, and it's not damaged or messed up through regular weathering and corrosion, we replace it. Who knew? So that's a little nugget I just shared with y'all, because you know how much the units cost? We talking like $5,000. And if my homeowner's insurance is gonna pick up the tab, I'm over here. Y'all can't see me, but I'm cutting the jig right now. So I'm happy about that. I bet you a lot of people don't know it, because I know a lot of people who have to replace their units after so many years, and they have to buy them. Matter of fact, you can finance them like you buying a car or something. Who wants to do that? So that's just something I share with you guys. Whatever I know, I'll tell you guys too. But anywho, let me get to this Black History.
All right, Miss T. So you have a blessed one, and I'll definitely catch up with you later.
I appreciate you, player. We're going to talk about Patricia Bath. Patricia Bath was the first African American to complete a residency in ophthalmology, and the first African American female doctor to receive a medical patent. She invented the laser phaco probe, and I'm hoping I pronounced that right. Phaco or phaco probe for cataract treatment in 1986. Patricia Bath was the first African American to complete a residency in ophthalmology in 1973. 2 years later, she became the first female faculty member in the Department of Ophthalmology at UCLA's Jules Stein Eye Institute. In 1976, Bath co-founded the American Institute for the Prevention of Blindness, which established that eyesight is a basic human right. In 1986, Bath invented the laser phaco probe, improving treatment for cataract patients. She patented the device in 1988, becoming the first African-American female doctor to receive a medical patent. Patricia Era Bath was born on November 4th, 1942 in New York City's Harlem neighborhood to Rupert Bath, the first Black motorman for the New York City subway system, and Gladys Bath, a housewife and domestic worker who used her salary to save money for her children's education. Bath was encouraged by her family to pursue academic interests. Her father, a former merchant marine and an occasional newspaper columnist, taught Bath about the wonders of travel and the value of exploring new cultures. Her mother piqued the young girl's interest in science by buying her chemistry sets. As a result, Bath worked hard on her intellectual pursuits and at the age of 16 became one of only a few students to attend a cancer research workshop sponsored by the National Science Foundation. The program head, Dr. Robert Bernard, was so impressed with Bath's discoveries during the project that he incorporated her findings in a scientific paper he presented at a conference. The publicity surrounding her discoveries earned Bath the Mademoiselle magazine's Merit Award in 1960. Now I gotta pause. The Mademoiselle. Ooh, I tell you, boy. After graduating from high school in only 2 years, pause. Man, that's what I'm talking about, sister. Bath headed to Hunter College, where she earned a bachelor's degree in 64. She then attended Howard University to pursue a medical degree. Bath graduated with honors from Howard in 68 and accepted an internship at Harlem Hospital shortly after. The following year, she also began pursuing a fellowship in ophthalmology at Columbia University. Through her studies there, she discovered that African Americans were twice as likely to suffer from blindness than other patients to which she attended, and 8 times more likely to develop glaucoma. Her research led to her development of a community ophthalmology system, which increased the amount of eye care given to those who are unable to afford the treatment. In 73, Bath became the first African American to complete a residency in ophthalmology. She moved to California the following year to work as an assistant professor of surgery at both Charles R. Drew University and the University of California at Los Angeles. In 75, she became the first female faculty member in the Department of Ophthalmology at UCLA's Jules Stein Institute. In 76, Bath co-founded the American Institute for the Prevention of Blindness. I don't know why it's making me repeat this, but it is. So, American Institute of Prevention of Blindness, which established the eyesight and basic human right. By 83, Bath, okay, I'm going to skip past it because it's repeating. In 1981, Bath began working on her most well-known invention, the laser Focus probe in 1986. Harnessing laser technology, the device created a less painful and more precise treatment of cataracts. She received a patent for the device in 1988, becoming the first African-American female doctor to receive a patent for a medical purpose. She also holds patents in Japan, Canada, and Europe. With her laser Focus probe, Bath was able to help restore the sight of individuals who had been blind for more than 30 years. In 1993, Bath retired from her position at the UCLA Medical Center and became an honorary member of its medical staff. The same year, she was named a Howard University pioneer in academic medicine. Among her many roles in the medical field, Bath was a strong advocate of telemedicine, which uses technology to provide medical service in remote areas. Bath died on May 30th, 2019 in San Francisco, California. And so she was before her time and a great American. And what she did, helped us tremendously just across the board, across the world. And all of us know somebody who had a cataract problem, who wound up getting that laser surgery, or people who used to wear glasses, had to wear glasses, but they opted for the laser surgery and then they don't have to. So shout outs to Ms. Bath for, being a pioneer and inventing something. This kind of what her design looked like. As you see, it looked like the device that they're going to go up in the eye with, because this is apparently the eye, or behind the eye, because it's up here is where you'll see the pupil. But they got an irrigator, which means it's telling me some kind of water thing. And on this prong is a laser. And I cannot see what that says. Maybe y'all can. My eyes are failing. Because I might have glaucoma for real. I didn't know, but I definitely have a cataract. But I didn't know that Black people had this problem more in abundance than most other people. And I wonder why. I don't know. Maybe it could be, like I said, lack of medical attention. Maybe it has something to do with the pressure built up from just having hypertension and things of that nature. And if she built things like, clinics that to help, set up things or systems where they can help people who don't have the money to get proper eye care, then that was cool too. And this was in the 20th century. So, shout outs to her, Patricia Babb. And anytime that they do any laser, anything with the eye, somebody has, like if somebody makes another invention or any kind of tool, they have to pay her, which I'm sure if she had children or whatever that she left it to her family, but you have to pay her first because you have to go back all the way to her patent and then show how you're improving upon her patent. Because whatever device you made is in its simplest form is going to be starting from what she invented. And so a lot of people should be grateful. A lot of people don't have to wear glasses because of this woman. A lot of people can see now because of this woman. And that's since the 80s. So she was before her time, and she made a profound effect on the world at large and a great American. So that's my Black History moment or nugget for today. So thank you guys for watching and everything. Remember, when you know better, you'll do better. I thought that was interesting. I never knew that. I just thought that was just always something that they did, with cataracts. And if you don't have a cataracts or something, you just wouldn't know because, but yeah, cataract has something to do with the lighting and how it hits. And it can affect your periphery and it degrades as time go on. So I definitely am scared I might have to get that surgery because I know that when I retired from the military, it was like, oh, you got a little one, but I'm gonna ride these eyes till the wheels fall off. Anywho, when you know better, you do better. Peace.